Disney has given us our first look of what could potentially be the new Avatar land based on this concept art, which I will go into in a bit. Avatar Theory here, hope you're doing well and having a fantastic day, and the following information comes from The Hollywood Reporter by the writer Zoe Phillips, and I will leave a link in the description below, where the title states, quote, Disneyland unveils new Avatar land concept art. We're investigating aggressively and thoughtfully, end quote. So it seems just based on this title alone. I know with articles you shouldn't really go much on the title, but if you're just looking at the quote that Disney said, that where they say we're investing aggressively and thoughtfully, it does seem like they're really going all in on this new Avatar land I spoke about in a couple of weeks ago. Now I'm just going to go through the article and then, like I said, break down the art, because there is quite a few things in this art that I want to talk about. Now, the article goes as follows, quote, Disney surprise revealed concept art for their proposed Avatar land in California's Disneyland at the company's shareholders webcast on Wednesday, celebrating what they call a piece of inspirational art that is only just the beginning. The art, later also released on the Disney Parks blog, showed an outdoor lake with guests standing at the shoreline prepped with boats and a large waterfall, fictional Pandora creatures surrounding the humans, and tall outcropping of rocks frame the lake in a scene emblematic of the world created by writer-director James Cameron. The scene also looks similar to Disney's World's Pandora, the world of Avatar, which opened in Florida's Animal Kingdom in 2017. The article continues, we were thrilled to unveil a piece of inspirational artwork developed for a potential new Avatar experience at the Disneyland Resort. Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Disney Experiences, wrote, we are excited about the stories our guests could experience at Walt's original theme park destination after approval of Disneyland Forward, including the chance to experience all new Avatar adventures with a visit to Pandora. Last week, the Anaheim City Planning Commission voted to approve sending Disney's Disneyland Forward plan to the City Council. The proposal, part of Disney's plan to invest $60 billion in its expansion of theme parks globally, would transform the flagship park via extensive expansions and the addition of mixed-use amenities. Avatar is the latest example of how we are looking to create new and innovative ways to bring our powerful stories to life. D'Amaro wrote, over the past decade, we've delivered massive immersive experiences at our destinations around the world, including new lands and attractions based on Star Wars, the Avengers, Pixar, and more. The article concludes, D'Amaro also noted that all of this is just the beginning. There are so many stories in our library yet to explore. He concluded, as we turbocharge Disney experience over the next 10 years, we're investing aggressively and thoughtfully to give you more of what you love. There has never been a more exciting time at Disney Experiences. I'm looking forward to having you on this journey with us, end quote. So just based on this information alone, there is quite a bit to take away. I mean, the fact that they're aggressively going forward to expand the Disney parks, especially the Avatar themed areas, is a positive message to the Avatar fandom. I mean, personally, I've not yet had the chance to go to the world of Avatar in Florida, although it is on my to-do list at some point. And the fact that they're investing this much into the park's expansion is a positive sign. Now, on the side note, or on the part where you might be a little bit skeptical, is where they talk about the Star Wars expansion, because we know that they invested heavily on the Star Wars hotel at one of the Disney parks, which was eventually closed down after only being opened for a year. However, from what I read on Reddit and people that have experienced it, some of the YouTube videos that I've watched of people that's been there, it was just too expensive for what you got. I mean, it would be pretty awesome if they had an Avatar hotel, although I don't really know how that would work. You'd probably sleep in some hammocks or something like that, which would be a little bit weird. But with Disney being Disney, you can see that they're also thinking of how they can squeeze money out of customers. Of course, it is a business at the end of the day, but still, the fact that they're expanding on the Avatar universe with this heavy investment does make me excited. I mean, there is so much potential that you can think of what they can do with the Avatar universe. I mean, we not only have Avatar 3 coming out next year, hopefully it won't be delayed, and then we also have Avatar 4 and 5, and James Cameron has also spoke about expanding the movies to a 6th, 7th potential film. So if the Avatar universe does continue after the 5th film, there is so much more you can do with this universe. I did state in my previous video when I spoke about this park that I speculate the park could potentially open, or the area, the expanded area, could open around 2028, just a year before the fourth Avatar movie, which essentially gives them 4 years to build this, which I feel should be enough time. But moving on to the concept art, the first and most obvious thing that stands out is that this is inspired by the Metkayina village and the Way of Water. Now, of course, the big thing that's standing out is the Cove of the Ancestors, right there almost in the center of the picture, looking really stunning. And the detail in this concept art, I must say, is just absolutely breathtaking. I mean, this is something that I wouldn't mind having as a framed poster. Now, looking above the Cove of the Ancestors, you seem to have some banshees flying there. And then looking to the left of that, you have, again, some of the Metkayina inspired village areas. And you can even see below that you have some people walking over a Metkayina bridge with a boat that seems to be, again, inspired by some of the canoes that the Metkayina makes. This gives me the idea that this park or this expansion will obviously be water-based, water-focused. And almost, if any of you have gone to the Jurassic Park water ride at Universal Studios, I've personally, unfortunately, when I was in Universal Studios, they were working on all of the water rides, so the Jurassic Park ride was unfortunately closed. But I've seen a lot of videos on that ride, and it seems that this will have some aspect of that where you get into some sort of massive boat, again inspired by the Metkayina canoes, that goes around the park. Then on the left side of the image you have the seawall terrace, which separates the Metkayina village from the rest of the ocean. And just looking at this artwork and imagining how it looked like in the movie, this really has me excited to see how this will end up, if this is how it's going to end up being in the final version of the park. I mean, if they do this, then it's gonna, have a lot of water. Of course, you need a lot of water for this, but yeah, I can just imagine this being real, and then how huge it will be. And on top of this seawall terrace, you have some birds. I'm not really sure what these birds are. I don't know if I saw them in the Way of Water. I don't recall, but correct me in the comments if you know what these birds are, so I can just look into it. But speaking of animals, you can see there, right there, almost in the center of the image, you have 3 little otters just chilling out there. And interestingly enough, these otters were actually in the concept art for Avatar: The Way of Water. One of the pages speaks of the otter, which is essentially a Pandoran twist on the otter that was created for a scene that was supposed to be with Took. But unfortunately, the otter was never put into the movie, although it would have been really awesome to see these in the movie. So I don't think they're gonna be in the park. I think it's just like a little Easter egg on the artwork itself, but still really awesome to see them there nonetheless. And then here in the forefront is just the area which will likely be the entrance to this Metkayina inspired park area, which will then give you this breathtakingly beautiful view. Now, it is important to note that this is, of course, only concept art, and a lot of concept art doesn't necessarily make it into the final build of whatever it is that's being constructed. I mean, even if you look at movies and video games, a lot of concept art, taking the sea otter for example that I just spoke about, doesn't really make it into the final design. So this could probably change, this could possibly change, but considering that the first Avatar park is focused around the first Avatar movie, I can see them doing this one based on the second movie, and then potentially down the line doing a third version at a different Disney park that could be inspired by, who knows, maybe the third, fourth, and fifth Avatar movie combined. So then you have these 3 different Avatar experiences at 3 different Disney parks. That's vastly different. Even if you look at something like the Harry Potter world at Universal Studios, there are plenty of stuff that's similar at the different parks, but some of them have, for example, the Gringotts Bank, whereas others have different areas, making you want to see all of them. So I think Disney wants to do that with this as well, and I can see them doing a massive water area for this Avatar expansion, this Avatar land. However, it is important to think that if this is only water-based, if this is just going to be like an outdoor area that's meant for the sun, what will they do when it's essentially winter? Will this be closed? That is something they need to keep in mind as well. But regardless, I can see this being a possibility, and just imagine at night how beautiful this area will be. But what do you think about this expanded Avatar land? Do you think it'll be heavily inspired by this piece of artwork? This is only the first piece of artwork. Likely we will get a few down the line, but let me know in the comments below. And for more Avatar content, have a look at the rest of my channel. Until next time, have a fantastic day and stay safe.